Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. So I just finished a mini video series about the MyCloud EX2 8 terabytes, which is what I have here, with two Western Digital Red 4 terabytes each. If that's a topic that matters to you, I will leave the links below and you can check it out. If not, just skip to something else. So in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about my storage and backup solutions that I've used so far, that I will be using from now on with this new device here, and what are my plans on mid to long term storage and backup solutions, especially when this guy here meets his limits as this one did right now. So before I begin talking about what I have here, I would like to leave something very clear, and this is my opinion, but we have to start from a point, and that's my thought, is that all these devices here, from the cheapest one to the more expensive one, all of them will fail at some time. So this is where I start when I'm talking about storage and backup, is as soon as I buy a device, and this is the newest one that I have from all these, on my head is this guy is gonna fail me at some point. I don't know when, in a month, in a year, in 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, doesn't matter, it's gonna fail. So this is where I start when I talk about storage and backup, and this is one thing that I would like to share with you. Think about that when you have data. Your device will fail, we just don't know when. It can last a lifetime, but it cannot, and if it doesn't, what is your plan to have your data backed up? So this is the most critical thing that I would like to share with you. And besides that, let's move on to what I have here. So I've got three. I've got some more on my desk, but thumb USB drives, and two of them are redundant. I could lose at any time. What I have here are just temporary files that I use here, but this one here is very important to me. As of some of you might know, I'm a teacher. Besides motion graphics and video editing, I'm a teacher, and this little thumb pen USB drive, or whatever you call it, is carried with me every single day. When I leave home, I grab my pants right pocket, and if I don't feel this on my pants, something is wrong. So to say that this is very important to me, it's just 8 gigabytes. What I do have here is PowerPoint presentations, all the documents that I have to deliver to my students, worksheets that my students deliver to me, and I keep everything in here. Of course, my backup plan for this, it's easy. Google Drive. I've got everything backed up here. Every single Sunday I back up everything for the Google Drive, so I have an update of this or a clone of this on the cloud. But for 8 gigabytes it's easy. You have a lot of resources, so this is my way of working with with this very important pen drive, and I will talk a little bit more about it in a couple of minutes. So in here I've got, and these I already mentioned, just I use them for temporary files, messing around, changing from here, taking that, sometimes borrowing. And talking about borrowing, this Discovery is the oldest one that I have. It's an old 2.5 EDE or IDA, and to be honest, I don't use it. The only way this guy gets used today or nowadays is when a relative or a friend of mine says, "Hey Robert, don't you have a hard drive that I could borrow and transfer some files?" And here it is, take it, and when you're ready, just give it back to me. So there you go. And then I've got this one here, which is very important to me as well. This 2.5 here, it's an exact clone of my PC system drive. Okay, so once I finish building a PC and setting up all the operating system, all the apps that are necessary to me, when it's freshly cleaned, everything is working fine, what I do is I make a clone. And that's it. I don't do nothing else with this drive. It's just a clone here. The software that I use, just for out of curiosity, it's the AOME Backupper. You can search around, and it's a free software. You just make a clone of your hard drive in case, and I'll give you an example, if my computer fails right now, I don't have anything on the system drive, well, just the apps and the operating system, but I don't have any work that is critical for me or for my clients. So if my drive fails, and I've got two solutions, one of them opening this case and just put the disk there, or just run down the shop, get a new SSD, because I'm running SSD on my PC, get a new SSD, clone this one to the SSD, insert. I will spend, if I have to go to the shop, probably half an hour to have my PC working again. Once again, I'm assuming what? I'm assuming that at some point my PC will fail. I never passed that experience, but if I do, I'm safe. Let's say that the shop is closed. What I will do is just open this, plug it in my computer, turn it on, and the only disadvantage is this is a 5400 RPM and my computer has an SSD, so I will see a slow performance regarding what I have now. But in any case, I will be ready to work in 10 to 15 minutes this way. I also have here the same for my wife. She doesn't even know, but when she has any problems for the laptop, she only uses laptop. So I've got a full system clone of my wife here as well, for the same reasons. If anything happens, fortunately it didn't yet, but here it is, one old hard drive that I had laying around, and I said, well, I'm gonna do a backup if anything happens. On the worst case scenario, even if nothing happens and my wife just screws up the system, sometimes people tend to do that, installing free software, and then it brings a lot of trash. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of trash. And when people don't read, they just click next, next, and they realize that their computer starts to be slow and open things that they don't want. And instead of you having to reformat and install app by app, just clone it and boom, 15 minutes, you are ready to go. So these are my backup plans for operating systems and apps. And then I've got here another very important hard drive. As I mentioned before, teaching. For the last 15 years, I've created a lot of content for my students. I've received a lot of works, and some of them I will not use, but they're all here. So in the end of the year, the school year, which is almost finishing, we are in the half of May average. So it will finish in the end of this month, and I will go on holidays, at least from teaching. I will make a copy from this USB pen to this drive, which is this year, and I will buy a new drive for the next year. I always change pen drives for my work, so this one will be used in other ways, like these. Whoops, like these are. I will not throw it away, but will not be used for my critical data. So I always change every year from thumb drive for my school. As I was saying, this guy here has my work for the last 15 years, 16 years, and I save everything here. Besides that, I back up this guy. I have a backup of this one in here on my book live. This is the old generation. At the moment you don't have this one available. You have the Western Digital My Cloud and the My Cloud Mirror, which are the consumer grade versions of the one that I have here, which is the EX2. So I've got this one, which is a network attached storage. I've got a backup of this one here, and this guy here backs up everything that's in here weekly. So you can see if this one dies, I've got a copy here. If this one dies, I've got a copy here. It's very unlikely that I will lose my data. Only a big catastrophe would do that. So here's an example. I'm a bit fanatic about backups and having my data secured. This one here, I've got all my works, all my templates, After Effects, Motion files, Cinema 4D templates are stored here. I've got an online copy as well, but this disk will travel with me even if I'm on holidays, which every year I go with my wife and my kids. Actually used to be one kid, now they are two, so we travel, and what I do is I put this and I take my laptop, and if a customer sends a support ticket for me, what I do is, which is a thing that I receive daily, what I do is I just connect this to my laptop. I need a microphone. Usually I take just those kind of microphones, small microphones on the laptop bag, and I can give support to my clients. So I've got a copy here of all my works, regardless to say that this is backed up here and this one is backed up here. So putting these aside, all the smallest ones. Now this guy here, as I said, this is the My Book Live. I'm gonna try to turn it on. It only has a network connection, and that's and a power connection. That's about it. About 3-4 years that I've been using this one as my network attached storage. So this is available for all my network, and even outside the home, when I need a file that's in here, what I do is I access it through FTP. I don't really like, to be honest, the Western Digital To Go app. At least when I tried it on this one. I will try on this one to see if anything has changed, but I don't really find that very useful. So FTP, I've got the DNS set on my router. It will connect to this one, and I can download and upload files to this device. So besides all the data that I have here, it's backed up over here. What I have as well is all my media files. So old films that I have on DVDs, I have here. I don't use the DVDs, they're just on my shelf. You cannot see from there, but they're on my shelf. I'm really a lover of some of the series, well, old series, but I still love to watch them, especially when I go to bed and I want to watch something before I go to sleep. And this to say that this guy here streams media to 3 devices, one on the living room, one on my bedroom, one my kid's bedroom. He likes to watch his cartoons, so I've got a lot of cartoons here as well. And this probably from a business point of view is not very efficient, because I have critical data, and then I've got entertainment data here. But as I said on the other video, why Western Digital? Hey, I'm very happy with it. This guy here streams or works for about 12 to 16 hours a day. On the weekends more. My kid just starts playing a cartoon and he forgets the cartoon and goes play, and the device still streaming, and is grabbing data out of this one, so this drive is working and working and working. So this is not a very smart move, but it was my risk. Nothing happened to it, and I'm really happy that it didn't. Although I have this one here as a backup of everything that I have here. This is a My Book Essential. It's just the USB 3.0 drive. Very similar look. I really like the design of these drives, to be honest. So what I do is every Sunday I make a backup of everything that I have here to here. Of course, series, movies, and so on, they are in a separate folder, which in my case it's multimedia. That one is not backed up because there are no changes in there, but all the other my data, it's backed up here. One disadvantage that I have with this system right here is that I have to leave a machine turned on, one of my computers. The one that I tend to use is my Mac, just because it's more power efficient and it keeps on all night transferring the files from one device to the other. So this is how I've been working so far. Now I reached, or almost reached, the full capacity of this device, which is 2 terabytes, and I had to find a solution. So my solution was the EX2. Price point, no hassles, just plug it in and configure it, ready to go. And Western Digital, because as I mentioned, and I cannot stress this enough, I'm really happy with their products. This guy here, for example, only gave me a problem about a year ago. One of the firmware updates, it didn't go to sleep. It was I was not worried about the power consumption. I was worried about the hard drive working without necessary. But soon enough they upgraded that firmware. They gave a lot of support, and the drive went to its normal state. So 10 minutes it goes asleep, the LED goes blue and everything is silent, the drive is quiet. So that was the only complaint that I had about this guy here. So once again, really happy with these. Of course, I had to see what Western Digital had at this moment, and I went with the EX2. So this EX2 has 8 terabytes, and I will only be using 4 of them, because I will be using in RAID 1. So everything that's on one drive will be backed up in the other drive. As for now, what I'm going to be doing is this guy here with 2 terabytes only will be still backing up the EX2 as I did with this one, just because I haven't reached the 2 terabytes. And of course, I will be using this one for media streaming only, so my photos, my videos, my everything. So I still will have less data, because I will divide this just multimedia and critical data. Here, work, professional data. So this guy will back up this one. I will have to find a solution to back up my media, which is not, if I lose it, it will be a shame. I will have to grab my DVDs and put them back if I want to, which is not time friendly. But hey, if I lose, it's not work related, it's not that bad. If I lose what's related to work, and that's complicated. So trying not to bore you, and I'm watching the clock there, 17 minutes. I'm gonna go with this for the next few months maybe. This will be more than enough to back up all the data that I have here until it reaches 2 terabytes. Once it reaches 2 terabytes, the most certain thing that I will do is I will get another one of these, but with 4 terabytes. I know I could just plug 2 in and make the 4 terabytes, but no, I will go for the 4 terabytes. This one I will give another use, and I will have to think that later on. It's an inexpensive disk, about 100 years, something like that, and I will have 4 terabytes here backing up this device. And this device has one thing which is great. I will turn it to you. And I already mentioned this on the previous videos where I reviewed this device, which is the USB connections at the back. So what this means is that I will set up the backups as I already tested them on the video and shared with you. If you haven't watched, just go below. And once you have the backup set, all you have to do is click on a button, shut off your computers, go to bed, and the device itself will manage that backup to the device that you want. Of course, you can connect this to another exactly the same device, or the EX4, whether on your home network or across a relative house, a relative home, and you can make a stream or a backup of your files to there. So you've got a lot of options here. Remote backups, you can make it scheduled. The other backups, the USB backups, is the only thing that I would like that Western Digital could improve at this point, is that they could be scheduled as well. At this moment they are not. You have to click a button to start running, and for me it will not be a shock because I did that manually. Now it's even easier. I will just have to click, shut down everything and go to bed. The next morning everything will be fine. And now, why did I get this one, and what are my plans for the future? So, as I think I've mentioned in the previous videos, if I did, sorry about that, if I didn't, I will mention it now, is for this price point I could go with the EX4 with 8 terabytes, and I could, when I wanted, place another 4 terabytes, another 4, which would give me 16. And I didn't want to go that way simply because I would have to get a solution to back that EX4 immediately, and that would mean an investment. And at this point it would be an unnecessary investment. You have to think about this. from your point of view. Why do I want the storage? How will I back it up? How much I'm willing to spend? So my plan is to use this guy, 4 terabytes, RAID 1, never RAID 0, RAID 1, 4 terabytes. I will have everything stored here. I will have a device like this with 4 terabytes in the future to back it up. Until then, I will use the 2 terabytes. Once this one is reached capacity, what I'm going to do is I will have to find a solution to upgrade. And if I was doing that move now, today, the machine that I would choose would be the EX4. Same software, everything is the same. It's just a 4-bay NAS with 16 terabytes. I would go for that. And I would use RAID 5. So in 16 terabytes, I would have about 12 terabytes free of space. And to back the EX4 in the future, probably in the future in 4 years, which is the time that I estimate to have this one upgraded, probably it will not be the EX4, it will be something else, but I will check for sure what Western Digital will have by then. What I will do is use this one to back up my new storage solution. So this guy here, besides RAID 0, RAID 1, it has JBOD, and JBOD will give me the 8 terabytes that I have here with 2 independent drives. So it means that I could have 2 of these separated. And what I can do is, with my next machine in a few years, I will have this one as a backup of that one. So this is my plan. I would like to share with you. 22 minutes, sorry about that. This is my plan regarding the future, and why did I choose this one instead of the other, as I mentioned. And guys, I think I didn't forget to mention everything. I'm always with this sensation that I forgot to mention, even though I talk a lot. If you are interested in watching this video, the videos about this device, I just made several videos, so I will leave the links below. If not, think about what I just mentioned here. If you want to leave your opinion, please do so. And I'm going to finish this video as I did begin. Think about your devices, they will fail. So get a solution, whether it's a small solution, a simple 3 solution, or if you have to pay for that solution, but to have your critical data always backed up with regular intervals. Just to share with you that one more thing before we go. If you don't want to hear me, just shut down the video. Recently, just 2 episodes of friends. Well, one of them friend, one of them relative. A friend of mine came to me, "Hey Robert," and this people do because they know I deal with computers. "Hey Robert, my computer with the photos of my kids and my wife and my family just died. What can I do?" Difficult. When you can spend about 50 euros and get a drive just to back your photos, and have it in 2 places, your computer and your drive. So if one fails, you have the other one. And now that guy is in a complicated situation. He is available to pay around 2,000 euros for a company to recover some of the data. I don't know, they are not even sure what they can recover. He went there and asked for a quote. Is about 2,000 euros. But as you can see, 2,000 euros, you can plan your future. And this, he was telling me that he has about 8 years of photography. He's not a professional photography. He has a few point and shoots, and he likes to take photographies for his kids. But even though it's not professional, it's your family, so you should think about that. Another example is a small IT, and this is not funny, but a small IT company that we have here recently they have a NAS a bit bigger than this one. Recently their NAS failed. A relative of mine works there, so it told me that hey, our NAS failed. It wasn't the drives that are inside, which are in RAID 1 and everything is safe. If one fails, we have not the other one. It was the box itself that failed. And my question was, what do they have as a backup? There's no backup. That was the answer. And I said, hey, it's even in my home I have backup, so I think it's really you have to think that it will fail, because even if the drives are backed up, this guy here for some reason burns or whatever, and they will be connected to, all of these are, well, at least these two, the other ones don't need to, these two are connected to two UPSs that I have here to power all my systems. This one will be as well, but there's the chance of the box itself burns, and it will be very complicated to get your data out of RAID, whether it's hardware RAID, software RAID. It's very difficult to get out of there unless you get a new box and it will work exactly the same, which I'm not sure. Never happened to me, and I don't want that to happen. So once again, think that these guys can fail. Fortunately, these never failed to me, but my opinion is that at some point they will. Guys, once again, if I did bother you too much, apologize for that. In any case, if this made you think a little bit about storage and backup, hey, thumbs up. I took the most part of the day today to review this, and I thought, well, if I'm reviewing this, let me talk about my storage and backup solution that I use. This might be useful for someone that, it's a subscriber of the channel. If not, it can be a subscriber of the channel in the future, or he just wants to watch something about backup and storage and backup. Okay guys, this is it. Thanks for watching. My name is Roberto.